to see if I can do this on my iPad. So let's see if that allows for chat. But anyway, I'm going to turn it around and go ahead and show you the garden. All right, so we'll start over here. There are my sweet potatoes, one of them anyway. That's another sweet potato. And over next to that is a corn. I had planted up some corn that I put out too early, and they had all died, and one came back. So I'm just gonna let it do what it do. Now that it's coming back, getting bigger though, I'm not quite sure that's corn. Those leaves look weird. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. We gonna see. I don't know what that is, because those leaves don't look quite like my corn leaves. Mm-mm, not at all. So I don't know what I'm growing over there. Sorry about that. As you can hear, somebody's loud truck is going down the street. Anyway, those are my blueberry plants, and I actually have a blueberry on one of them. Just that one. These were really dark in color, pink or whatnot. And I put in some fertilizer that I'm hoping is going to help with that. I'm hoping that it was just the pH in the soil, so we will see. Although these are actually starting to get a little pinkish too, so I don't know what's happening there. Anyway, those are sweet potatoes. And that pot, there is Juicy. And they are starting to get a little bigger. I think I still might have too many oranges on this plant. I thought I had left only three, but I now can see four. So I don't know. Anyway, those are the cucumbers. I mean, not cucumbers, I'm sorry. These are cantaloupe. And they are flowering. Both plants. No fruit yet, but I have flowers on both of the plants for my cantaloupe. They are growing much faster than my other melons, my watermelons. So, right here is the watermelon bed. The front two are yellow watermelon, petite yellow watermelon. The next two are crimson sweet. Back there are the two little ones are sugar babies, and that is a sugar baby. So I had only planted that I'm aware of one sugar baby seed back there, but I have two plants coming up. So maybe I thought I planted one. I don't know. But anyway, those are sugar babies. That's my potato forest, which I'm excited about. I actually took the netting off of the potatoes. For one, because there was no sun getting down in there. I don't know if you could see like where a lot of the leaves were yellowing. Um, so since I've let them, the netting off and kind of let them be free, they're getting sun down in there. But there's a lot of flowers on these as well, all the way around it. So, yeah. And these should be ready about mid-July. I'll be doing a video of me harvesting these. So that should be fun. Over here, I have some lavender back there in that pot. And right in front of me is some parsley and basil, which the sun is frying it. So I'm going to be moving this because it's just getting too much sun. Um, I believe I just moved my celery for the same reason. In this bed is the basil, which is getting a lot of heat. It looks like it's beginning to flower. And behind it is the Brandywine Tomato. Next to it is a Brandywine. And the other two next to that are Rutgers. In front of them are I'm not even sure what we remember exactly what they are. They are paste tomatoes. I know that for a fact, but I thought they were San Marcini or something like that, but I could be completely wrong, guys. But they are tomatoes. Next to the tomatoes over in the corner there is some pineapple sage. And in front of that is some store-bought onions that I put in the bed. And I still have like 5 spaces to be able to plant something in here. I think I don't know if they will companion plant well with this, but I was thinking about putting some radish in here. Um, Probably right in that little spot in front of the basil. So, yeah. Anyway, these are my Walla Walla onion. In between there is a red and orange habanero plant and some more Walla Walla onions. And back there, mystery pepper. I think that's going to be a bell pepper plant. I don't know what the heck it's going to be, but it is a pepper. And next to it is a Scotch bonnet pepper plant. Right here is also a pepper plant. That looks like a jalapeno if I've ever seen one, but it also could be a what am I thinking? I forget. Darn it. It's going to come to me because I don't think that's a jalapeno. And there's another pepper. These two plants are supposed to be, I think this one is supposed to be a habanero, which that clearly is not. And that is supposed to be a serrano. I think that's the serrano right there. I don't know what. Those are the plants I got from Walmart, so they could have easily been tagged wrong. In front here are peppercini, pepper plants, hot peppercini, and that's another hot peppercini plant. I think this area here, the tomatoes are doing just fine with all that sun, but I don't think my peppers are liking it. This spot gets a lot of hours of sun, and I don't think it's liking it. Some of the plants, because the leaves are like, look at that. That's supposed to be a jalapeno pepper plant, but I'm not sure what it is. Oh, I just now noticed there's a pepper on. Sorry, guys. I think I'm too close on that plant. So I don't know what that is. Anyway, um, it's supposed to be a chili pepper, but I'm not sure. And that's another mystery pepper plant. And those are garlic that's coming up back there. This is my pot of different herbs. Have some lemon thyme, some more basil, some rosemary, sage, and I'm not sure what the other one is. I don't remember. It was a 4-pack that I also got at Walmart, and I'll probably move those as well because I just think it's getting too much sun. I got marigolds there, and this is my pineapple sage plant. The pineapple sage and the lavender over there used to be in the same pot. And if you see this pineapple sage, you know why it's not in the same pot with it anymore. It was taken over. Not pineapple sage, this is mint. I'm tripping. This mint and that lavender were together, but this mint took over. And it smells so good. I need to harvest a lot of it, and I'll get to that. But yeah, that mint ain't playing. All right, so and I have through the middle here these 6 plants, and then I have some red mustard, some Georgia collards, more Georgia collards, and more Georgia collards. So 3 Georgia collard plants and 2 mustard green plants. And then up front here, I have 2 cucumber plants. These are pickling cucumbers. And I have my zucchini plants. I was trying to show you where it's flowering, but there's some flowers in there. And I have 2 zucchini plants up here. So yeah, right there are my green beans. I have about 16, I think, green bean plants that came up. This is the big ones here are 8, and then I had planted more next to it, and those had come up, so I have 8 more plants that are coming. On the end there, next to the green beans, is more nasturtium, and there is a purple bell pepper plant that something is eating on. Something's eating on my green beans too, and I've been spraying them, and it's still eating my plants. So it's not eating any other plants. I check all my other plants. I have a couple of bites, like a couple of holes on the mint, but not much. But whatever it is, it's liking these green bean leaves. And right here, I have carrots. And next to the carrots is more purple beauty bell peppers. And then I think I have one green bell in here. My tomato plants up here were looking pretty bad, but they're coming back to life. They were really yellow and they're getting green again. So right here is an early girl, and the two next to it are bromas. And then over here is some petite, some midget watermelon, golden midget watermelon plants. I got some garlic chives and onion chives in here. And then here is the lemon cucumbers that I won from Black's Tropical. This is more of the sweet potatoes. This is actually the last two that actually, the last two I'm showing, not the last two I planted. Actually, that's not true. But anyway, this is 2 of the um, sweet potatoes. I have 5 altogether. And that is the yellow squash, the scallop squash that I won from Black's Tropical. Over here, I have my strawberries coming up. And I have one that's just, oh, sorry guys, one that's just about ready. And I'm kind of hiding it. I don't know if you could tell behind a leaf because I don't want the birds to see it and get it. But it's almost ready. And then I have Hazel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, but yeah, I have a lot more strawberries that are coming. So I'm excited about that. This is another sugar baby seedling that I may or may not put in my garden. I might give it away. And this is some lettuce and some, what's that? Swiss chard. And then here's a bunch of onions and garlic that I'm growing in that bed. I have cut from this salad twice. This is just a mix salad. I gave for a big bag of it. I kept a bag of it and it's already going back to make more. So solid for days. I probably won't do that again as big of a container next year because that was a lot of salad. Here is my celery, and I just moved it, like I said, because look at the leaves. They've been burning up in the sun. So I got them closer to my fence, which this spot gets less sun throughout the day. It gets sun, but not as many hours of it. This here is a grow bag with some of the red Pontiac potatoes in it. So, and they're starting to flower. And then next to it is a store-bought potato that I'm growing. And over here is some peaches and cream corn. And all the weeds that are coming up in my yard that I need to cut back. And then over here is the rest of the peaches and cream corn. So if you look at how that looks and how that one over in the corner looks, I don't think that is corn. I'm pretty sure that it isn't. I thought it was, but I'm pretty sure it's not at this time. Anyway, let's see. That's everything that's in my little section of the yard that I use for my garden beds and most of my pots. So there you go, a pan of it. And then over by my house, I have some lettuce and Swiss chard in there. And I'm actually going to harvest that's romaine lettuce. I'm going to be harvesting that and just let the Swiss chard continue to grow in there. That is some marigolds that I'm growing from seed. And then this huge container, this is like a tote, has store-bought russet potatoes in it as well. So I have this one and then that little one on the other side. That is my collards that went to seed. So I'll be letting that dry out. And then I have over here my cherry tree. And it's already getting a little tall. It doesn't look like it's going to produce any fruit though. So if it does, yay. But if not, I'm okay with that. I'm sure by next year it will. These were a bunch of starts. There's some peppers and tomatoes there. A lot of them were going to, probably still will go to my brother-in-law. And then I'm trying to see if I can get this stevia, not stevia, this is mint to grow that I took off of that big plant. It's really limp right now, so we're going to see how it does. But in here, I think there's only one, which is that one that I'm going to put in my garden, which is a candy cane pepper. It's the only one I got to grow from some seeds that I had from last year. That's just a bucket of soil from last year. And this is my 2 stevia plants that I just got not too long ago. So, yeah, that's everything that's going on in the garden right now. And it's actually a pretty nice day today. It rained yesterday. It was supposed to rain today, but it hasn't. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to turn this around. But I just wanted to give an update of what's going on in my garden. So I keep covering up. I don't know where my cameras are on this thing. It's not my phone, so on my phone I know where all my cameras are. If I keep looking this way, my camera's over this way. But my chat comes up over this way. I don't know if I can move it. If you guys are saying anything, it looks like Zoe was the only one who said anything because I can see that. But I don't know if I can move it. Nope, I can't. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to get on and give an update of that. Because like I said, I could have done a video of the garden, but I was like, you have to edit that and everything. Why not just get on and do a live and share what's going on in the garden? So there's the garden for my patio. And I just took up like a third of my yard for my garden right now because it's hard to stop adding to the garden. But I have to. I've run out of room, and I want to keep space to move around in there and get through areas and kind of keep control of the bugs. I think the more things I have in there, the more possibilities it is. Hi, Tammy. Um, to get to have bugs get in there and wreak havoc. Yesterday morning, I found a slug in my garden, and it was about 4 inches long, and it wasn't even like fully like spanned out with it crawling. It was real fat and long, and I took a video of it and thought I had uploaded it, and then when I went back later, it wasn't in my. I did a short, and it wasn't in my shorts. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's because I left shortly after I did it. So I left my Wi-Fi, and maybe when it connected from my Wi-Fi to my 4G, I lost the footage. But it was big, and it was over by my basil in my tomato bed, but it wasn't on any of my plants, but it was in there. And then when I did some research, I realized that um, slugs are slugs and well, I don't know about snails, but I know slugs are attracted to mulch, and I don't know if you noticed that I have mulched that whole area. I did that for aesthetic because it made it look nicer. But now I'm like, I'm about to go get rocks and put them all over there because if I knew they were going to attract slugs, that would have never happened. I've never seen anything that big ever in my whole entire life, and I grew up in a pretty country area, and I'm like, I ain't never seen no snail or slug that big. Um, I'm like, for it to be that big, it had to be eating a bunch of stuff. So it took a salt bath. I scooped it up out of there, put it in my pitcher with some salt water, and I got home and there was no residue or remnants of a snail, which was interesting because I didn't expect that to be. But I'm hoping that's meaning that it did like dissolve in there, yeah, and not just crawl off somewhere else because it was gross. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that. Did I miss anything? Girl, I didn't know that, Tammy. Hi, Audrey. Hey. I did not know that they like moisture, or else that would have never been a thing. And it's been, I'm in Ohio. I don't remember where you live at, Tammy. I think I know. I think I've known where you, what state you're in, but I don't remember. Um, anyway, it's been raining a lot here, and it's been chilly. And then if it's not chilly, it's kind of humid. But today is actually, this is a really mild, nice day with a light, slight breeze. But Alabama, girl, then I'm gonna stop complaining because I know y'all weather probably is worse. Not as far as rain and stuff, but like heat and mugginess and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know why I've heard other people say that like the chat goes away. That's just ugh, annoying. But anyway, yeah. So that's all that's happening in my world today. I actually come out every morning before I go to work and check on my garden, and then I come back. When I come home from work, I check on it again. I'm trying to move this out of the way. I check on it again. I know, I'm pretty sure of it. Um, but I check on it again then when I get home. And then probably before when the sun goes down, I'll come out again. When it's hot, when the sun goes down, sometimes I'll water it at night when the sun goes down. But today, I'm not watering it. It rained yesterday. It hasn't been hot enough today. It's going to be okay. So maybe tomorrow I might water it, but I need to fertilize as well. So, yeah. Now, I agree. I believe you have a garden. If I'm correct, I know Zoe does. Zoe, I don't think is still in here. By the way, he said he popped in while he was at work. But yeah, y'all have to check out his page because Zoe he has chicken. He has a full fledged garden. His watermelon. He already has nice sized watermelon, and I think Zoe is in Georgia. Um, but he already has really nice sized watermelon. He's been harvesting squash and cucumbers and stuff already. I'm like, I'm jealous of the fact that his garden is already producing so much because I haven't gotten. I mean, I have some peppers that have produced. I haven't picked any, but that's the only thing. And then I have those strawberries coming. Um, I'm really excited to see if I can grow melons. That's like a really, really exciting to me. And Tammy, you need if you don't have a garden, girl, you get you a little garden. You don't have to have a full fledged thing like I have going on here. Last year, all I did was the Lowe's hot buckets that I have around. I had those, and I had a couple of like cuter pots that I started out with, but those things were like pricey. And then when I found out you can just use buckets to grow your tomatoes and stuff, I went and bought buckets. It's much easier with that. Te- I didn't know that. I did not know you had a garden. Um, so yeah. hmm You probably, if you got a huge garden, then you probably better than I am with it because this is just year two for me. So I'm learning. I went from having a couple of tomatoes and some peppers and a couple, like two cucumber plants last year and a few green bean plants to this year having this. I went from having a couple things around my patio to literally reconstructing the backyard. But last year when I did my garden, my husband was like, "Why didn't you just do a section in the yard?" And I'm like, "Because I don't know if I could grow stuff. So I want to first see if I could even grow anything before I start, making changes to the yard." So clearly, I can grow things. So I made changes to the yard. I grew a bunch of tomatoes last year. My cucumbers, I grew some cucumbers that did really well, but I think I overwatered my cucumbers a bit, so I had some ones start to rot at the end. So that was a learning experience. I didn't have too many problems overwatering tomatoes, and my green beans did great. I actually just cooked some of, I think the last of what I had from green beans from last year. And what else I have? Tomatoes. Oh, the peppers were, yeah, the peppers. I don't even know if you can mess peppers up, considering how well they grew for me. So the peppers did great. I did serrano, jalapeno. I had three of them. I did serrano, jalapeno. I did bells, of course. I did green bell peppers. I had two green bell pepper plants. And when I tell you there's nothing better than well, if you have a garden, you already know that. None better than a homegrown pepper. That's why I have so many pepper plants this year. I have 7 green bell pepper plants. And then I have 4 of the purple ones, but I've never had a purple bell pepper, but I heard they were really good. And so that's why I just bought a 4-pack from the nursery. But the more bell peppers for me, the better. I'm gonna cut those things up and chop them up. I'm gonna have so many in my freezer. I do not want to run out of bell peppers this year because I don't want to buy the stuff in the store. And tomatoes the same. That's why I have so many tomato plants this year. I'm gonna can up once I do some more research on it. I have a canning book as well, but I want to can some spaghetti sauce and some salsa, but mostly spaghetti sauce for the year. I'm hoping I could do enough for a year. I have 8 tomato plants. So, no, that's not true. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 tomato plants in my garden. So I'm hoping I that's enough plants to produce enough tomatoes to have tomato sauce for at least to get me through to the next gardening season. So, being that Tammy, you have um, a huge garden, let me know if that's enough or if I need more tomato plants. Because you see, I have more room in my tomato bed. I have at least 4 more spots to plant tomatoes if need be. I do not mind putting some more tomatoes in there because I want lots and lots of tomato plants. Not tomato plants, tomatoes um, this year because, like I said, I want to can up as much spaghetti sauce as I can. So yeah, but yeah, that's all I wanted to get on and do though is kind of update on my garden and talk about my garden because it's like my child. I get so excited every time I come out and see something different. I see a strawberry that's red. I see um, flowers. When I first saw a flower on my zucchini plant, I thought that my leaves were yellowing And so from the angle I was looking, so I walked around my plant like, dang it, been really good to try not to overwater my plants. And I looked and it wasn't leaves, it was a yellow flower. I did a short about it. I'm like a big child. I did a short about it because I was so excited. Like, I'm actually finally starting to see things growing because it's been so cold and rainy here. Not cold, but cool. It just hasn't been hot enough for the plants to really thrive like they would if it was warmer. Um, I just got so excited when I finally seen that the weather is giving it enough to start producing. I mean, I don't have any female flowers yet on that plant. Those are all male flowers that have opened. But once I see the females open, I'm just going to pollinate them myself. I'm going to take the male flower and pollinate it myself because that's exciting. And I've taken a lot of the netting off of most of my beds. I still have it on the one bed that has the tomatoes, um, the Roma and the early girl and the green beans, and then the one behind it with the collards and stuff are still in netting, and then the watermelon is in netting. That's because I have ground squirrels and tree squirrels. Not me personally, because I have no trees, period, in my yard. But my neighbor, that tree over there, I see the squirrels all the time. They'll jump on my fence and think they're going to jump over into the garden. And sometimes I'm out here when they do it, and I just get them. I scare them, and they end up going away. But I had what I thought was a chipmunk because I'm not that smart to know what chipmunks and squirrels are like. And it was not a chipmunk. It was brown. That's why I thought it was a chipmunk. It was a ground squirrel. And my coworker, I was telling him like, "Oh yeah, I saw this little baby chipmunk. It was so cute." And I thought it was thirsty, so I set water out for it and yada yada yada. And they're like, "What did it look like?" And I'm telling them, they're like, "That's a ground squirrel." I'm like, "No, it's not." And I Google it, and I'm like, "Son of a, that's a ground squirrel." I was irritated with myself at that point because now it might just keep coming because I gave it water. Now I didn't give it water in my garden. It was on the other side of my yard, but still, I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know. Hey TLC, I didn't see you come in. Hey girl. See, I don't know if I how see because I'm new at this. Let me tell you, I don't know if there's a way to make the chat stay. Um, it keeps going away instead of staying up the whole time. I don't know if that just comes with time. So I didn't see that, but hey, um, you probably I had was showing my garden. I was sharing how everything is doing in the garden. Um, that's the area in which it's in, and I was just showing all the plants that are there within the garden. I am growing pretty much a bit of everything. Everything I'm growing is things that we eat, so I don't have anything in there that's something that me or my family members won't eat. I'm probably the only one who eats the hot peppers really, but um, that's fine. And a lot of things that I'm trying out growing, a lot of things I've never grown before. I won seeds from Black's Tropical, which I think you might have been in that live TLC. Um, so I am growing I won the patty pan squash and well so scallop squash. It's called both. Um, and I won lemon cucumbers, which I'm really excited to try. Never had them before, but I was looking for them, and every site I went on, they were sold out. I tried Baker's Creek, I tried in my gardener, um, and they were already sold out. So I'm glad I won those because I wanted to try them. And then I won. Let me see. I got the, oh, I didn't even show that when I was over there because the plant is a small little seedling. But the tomatoes, I won these. They're called blue gold berry tomatoes, and they are growing next to the early girls. I forgot they're even there because it's really tiny. I direct sowed them into the bed, but it's a really tiny seedling. So yeah, they I'm growing all three of those. All three I've never had before, and I'm going to try all of those. And I've already seen some recipes for the squash, the patty pan squash. Go on Pinterest. If you never had the patty pan, if you like squash and you've never had the patty pan, which is like this looks really it's circular kind of, but kind of flat, almost like a seashellish type looking thing or something. I don't know how to describe it. But I saw a recipe where they stuffed it with like sausage and vegetables and stuff. I was like, who knew? I was like, I've never had it before, so I don't know how to prepare this thing. I don't know how to cook it. And then I went on Pinterest and found these recipes, and I was like, oh, I'm sold. I mean, it has so many good looking recipes on there. So if you aren't growing that, maybe you might want to for that reason. I didn't never grown melons before. Never knew that was a thing that you can grow in just any state. Because all that stuff gets imported into most states. You just assume that weather and climate make a difference of where you can grow things. I would have never thought you could grow those things in your backyard. And last year, I saw so many people using like the kiddie pools and growing watermelon out of the kiddie pools, and I was like, no way, that can't be real. And it was. And I was like, this year, even if it fails, even if I don't get a melon, I'm trying. I have at least four different watermelon growing. The little midget ones are going to be very small. I think they're like, I don't know. I don't even know if they're the size of a large orange. Maybe the size of a grapefruit, I guess. I don't know. And then the biggest one I'm growing, I believe, is the crimsons. And they still, I think they get up to like 8 to 10 pounds or something. And then the yellow petite might be right around there too. They might be about 8 pounds or so. And then the sugar babies. But my concern is that I'm not giving them enough space to grow because I know they vine out a lot. So I don't know if a 4x4 bed is big enough. So we're going to see about that. And then I decided with the cantaloupe, I'm going to grow them up. That's why they're in pots, and I have the little tomato cages around them, so that they can grow up in those where right there. That's the cantaloupe right there, and they are flowering, which is great. And I can't wait till I see little bitty fruit on it, because y'all know I'm gonna be on here when that happens. It's so loud over here today. I keep hearing all these motorcycles and stuff going down the street. But yeah. Anyway, let me see if I missed anything. I'm not gonna stay on here too long because I could sit and talk about this dang on garden all day. I really could. That's why I'm always in everybody's live that be talking about their garden, because it's exciting to me. Just watching everything over there except for the strawberries and the mint, the lavender, and a few. My tomato plants I actually bought starts for, and some of my pepper plants are starts. But most of that stuff I grew from seed myself. I grew under grow lights a lot of stuff. These tomato plants that are right in front of me, let me turn this around. These here, all are from seed. The tomatoes and the peppers that are in there, I grew from seed under grow light, but I didn't have room for these in the bed. These are Rutgers Brandywine. let's turn it around. Rutgers, Brandywine, cherries, and Romas. And then the peppers are red and orange habaneros. I think that's the only thing that's over there except for that one candy cane. Yep. But that's all from seed that I grew under grow lights. All of my melons I grew myself from seed, all of them. Um, the green beans are from seed, the carrots are from seed, the celery was from starts. I could not get celery to grow. And if anybody has any tips on how to make that, how to do that, I have celery seeds. I planted up some seeds 3 times and could not get them to germinate. So if anybody has tips for celery, um, I'm definitely looking for tips because I ended up buying starch from my local nursery because I just could not get them to germinate. Um, but everything else, the garlic, the onion, um, now the onion in the bed is from Starts, the Walla Walla onions, but the onions, actually the onions in that other bed is sets. They're not seeds either, but I do have onion seeds. So next year, I think I'm going to try to grow onions from seeds instead of buying starts and sets. And that big bed of right there, that big bed of salad, all seeds. Actually, the video of me dropping the seeds for that are on my channel. I just literally poured seeds into that container, way more seeds than I probably should have, and just let it do what it do. And I have gotten 2, well, actually, the equivalent of 3 gallon-sized bags of lettuce from that. But one of the bags I used, I have these bigger bags that's bigger than gallons. I used one of those and then 1 gallon size. But if I would have had all gallons, it would have filled up 3 easily. So, yeah. But I can't wait till these strawberries are ready. I keep eyeballing them to taste my first homegrown strawberry. And the blueberries, I really can't wait for the blueberries. And I know I have a while because I bought those little, those are the, I think they're called bushel and berry star bare roots for all 4 of those. And I was hoping that this year I would get blueberries. I'm just not sure if I will. Hi, Urban Garden Chronicles. Hey, how are you? So, yeah, I was just showing everybody my garden and what's growing in there. I'm gonna go over there a little bit just to show because everybody will have to go back to see. I'll just do a pan. Go back to see every individual thing. But there's my garden area of my yard. Behind me is sweet potatoes and blueberries. And I have Juicy right there. That's my orange tree. I'm going to turn the camera on. There's Juicy, and she has some oranges on her. I don't know if you see those. Right there, and there, and there, and there's one over there. I shoot. Did I see another one? No. Okay. And the only reason why I get angry, I was about to get angry, is because I don't want. This is my first year. This is the first year I've had this plant, and I was told to take most of the fruit off. I thought I had taken all off except for a couple, and I found that I still have 4 on here. So 3 of them are decent size. That one is kind of small. I might cut that one off, but I don't want to do it. It's sad. But those are my blueberries, and this one actually has 1 blueberry on it. That's the only one. And the sweet potatoes. And then I have more sweet potatoes behind Juicy. And that's my watermelon bed. And the forest there is my potatoes. And there are red, Yukon, and purple in there. And I don't know if you can see the flowers or not on the side there, but it is flowering. And those are my cantaloupes that are flowering. I'm excited about that. And then those are my other beds. I have tomatoes and peppers and basil and onion, my big salad bed, more onions, garlic, my strawberries. And I think I might, for those of you who have gardens, if you have strawberries, are these things here. Let me see if I can grab one. Are these runners that I can plant up when they get to a certain point to separate out of this and make another strawberry bed? Let me know. That is the scallop squash, more sweet potatoes, lemon cucumbers, some garlic chives. Behind the garlic chives is some more melons. Those are petites. No, those are midget watermelons. My celery, more potatoes back there, some corn. Then we got beans and tomatoes. Let me show you the little seedling. I haven't checked on it on a while, so I need to make sure it's still doing its thing. There is the seedlings for the tomatoes that I put in there that I won. I'm sorry, that I won from Black's Tropical. So I put in like 2 or 3 seeds. I see 3 seedlings, so I'll have to pinch out 2. But yeah, and then I have carrots in there. Those are mostly bell. Well, those are all bell peppers. Mostly purple bells. One green. Some nasturtiums. Behind this bed is the zucchinis. You probably can see the yellow flowers in there. There's cucumbers next to it. It is loud over here, guys. And in the back of that is, did you just see the shadow of that dang on squirrel running across my power line? Behind there is Georgia mustards and I mean not Georgia mustards, Georgia collards and some red mustards. So yeah, I got that big old pot of mint, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna dry up a lot of that, and yeah. So this is where the slugs are wreaking havoc in this mulch that I put over here. Underneath this is landscape fabric, and then I put mulch over the landscape fabric. But I think that at some point I'm going to end up putting rocks, like the little pebble rocks you can buy at the big box stores. Um, I think I'm going to put those in there because I can't do those slugs at all. And they were, I mean, that one was just too goddamn big. So, yeah. But those are pretty much all the things I am growing in the garden. So, yeah. And then once these dry out, I will get the seeds from it. It has a lot of seeds. Those are not Georgia collards. Those were just regular collards that I started last August. They made it through the winter, and they didn't start to flower until I think April, maybe even April. Seriously, and so this year I'm hoping that the heat doesn't bother. I have things planted based on what I thought they needed for sunlight. So the stuff that's closer to the fence, aside from the tomatoes, those were there because I didn't know if I had room in the other bed. But I wanted those things there because they needed less sun. The melons are against the house because the did. Okay, I accidentally pushed a button on my iPad. Anyway, the stuff against the house is getting more sun, and of course the stuff in the middle, it pretty much, the sun is up, that middle bed gets sun all day until the sun goes down. So I put the tomatoes there purposefully for that. Next year I'm going to swap beds. I think the melons are going to go in the middle, um, and it's maybe melons in one bed and tomatoes in the other. No, I don't know, because I'm figuring out peppers don't like all this this sun. So I don't have a lot of peppers other than that one bed with tomatoes, but that bed is not doing that bad. But it's a learning experience, though. But I don't want to do all this work for my plants to burn up, so we're gonna figure it out. But I thank you guys for coming in and checking out my garden. Yeah. And like I said, if you know about those strawberry runners, let me know. I think these are everbearing. I'm pretty sure they were. Um, and I don't know which ones usually have runners. I've been trying to do research on that kind of stuff, but like I said, I'm still learning. But yeah, and what are you growing in your garden? I know what you got, Urban Chronicle, Urban Gardens Chronicles. I know what your garden has. Um, I've seen your stuff, and y'all, she be dealing with them, the raccoons and stuff trying to get to her stuff, all kinds of craziness. Um, but yeah, and Tammy, what you got in your garden, girl? I didn't know you had a garden. Not that we on platforms about so many other things. um, I didn't know you had a garden. But yeah, this is just my peace, like my relaxation. I love it. It just makes me feel so tranquil when I'm out here with the garden until I see the bugs. I don't like bugs as much as I like the food, the what comes from gardening. Y'all should see me with these bugs. I saw a bug today in my house, and I called my husband, and they're like, "Come get it, it's a bug." And he be huffing. I was like, "I don't need all this lip. Just kill the bug." And when I last year I had those hornworms get on my tomato plants, and so I had my husband come out then and get those. So this year I'm gonna try some tricks that I've heard about to kind of prevent, hopefully, those even getting on my tomato plants, because those things is ugh, I ugh, I just don't like, no. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I just wanted to get on and share a garden update, because I was, like I said, going to do a video for it. And I was like, you know what? I'll just go live for the first time. I've been wanting to do it. I've been nervous about doing it. Um, but now that I've done it, I don't feel so nervous about it anymore. I've just never done a live. And yeah, so I'm in everybody's lives that's on here chatting it up, but I've just never done one myself. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you later. I feel bugs touching me. I will talk to you later. I hope you guys have a good night. If I can get this off, I don't even know how to stop the live. All right. Y'all, pray for me. I'm trying to push the button. Oh, I think I found. This is funny. I think I found something for the chat, but that's not what I was looking for. And I keep pushing the wrong thing. Y'all pray for me. All right.